informed that Jubilee lawyers have just filed a petition at the Supreme Court of Kenya. We want to speak to the Jubilee Party Secretary General Raphael Tuju. He joins me. This is a press conference.
Mr. Davis Chirchir, who is our chief agent as Jubilee Party, and therefore, of course, the President's chief agent. And we have with us here a few of our legal team. So I'll be able to give you a few remarks, and then you can ask any of us any question which you feel is pertinent. The first thing is that for us, this is about respect for the rule of law. When the Supreme Court annulled the election of the President on 1st of September, we did not agree with that annulment, but we respected the decision of the Supreme Court. Our going back to the election was because of respecting the rulings of the Supreme Court. We knew we could not cherry-pick aspects of the ruling that we liked and leave the ones we didn't like. I think the Supreme Court itself pronounced itself to NASA when they were making the ruling that we go back for the elections as per the Constitution. And if for any reason the Supreme Court would not be satisfied with the way the IEBC conducted that election, then it was going to be up to the Supreme Court again to make another ruling. And they said they could even annul it. But our opponents in their decision decided that they'd rather not face us in another election. I'd like to be able to go on record that we won this election in February this year. No, we won it in February this year. In August, it was just about confirmation of our win. Our opponents know this. We won it again on 26th of October, and even if it is to be done again, we'll still win it. The facts will remain the same. What is outrageous is that instead of coming to the Supreme Court to canvass any issue that they felt needed to be canvassed in terms of changes at the IEBC or whatever it is they claimed needed to be done, they decided to go out into the streets and boycott the elections. There is a petition that we are now facing. The petition is by people who are associated with ODM and NASA. They can pretend they are not, but we know they are. We have brought to the Supreme Court our case. And our case for us also is anchored on something which is very, very important. And that is the inalienable right of every Kenyan to be able to vote. There's no precedent in the history of this country when people have been actively prevented from exercising their right to vote, except this time when the NASA formation, using various elements in their party, elements that we know have styled themselves as Men in Black or Jeshila ODM and whoever they are, actively violating the rights of Kenyans to go and vote. It was enough for them to boycott. That is their constitutional right. But it was not in any way correct, in line with human rights, to stop people from exercising their democratic right. We have no precedent in history. For the 50-something years that we've been independent, there is no time when any group of people ever stopped others actively, violently, by preventing them, putting bonfires on the road, beating people up. We have brought our case to the Supreme Court. Not because, as Jubilee, we do not have means of enforcing this right, but we felt that rather than have the rule of the jungle, we should come to court. We have come to the Supreme Court to present our case. Thank you very much. We are ready to take any questions.